Okay, I'm not going to get into a lot of opinions or potential strategy if this case has to be defended because it is threatened litigation, but I just want to tell you why this is such a tough decision for this committee from a legal standpoint. There's been a lot of people talking about cases that are really like apples and oranges compared to this case. Probably the closest case that our Supreme Court, who by the way, we can talk about the history of our Constitution and our founding fathers, but the High Court of this land interprets that Constitution. And they lay down the law, basically, until they change their minds, which, on this particular issue, they flip-flop a number of times. Probably the closest case is the Van Orden case, which is the 10 Commandments that were placed in Texas on the state capitol grounds. They've been there for 40 years. Nobody had complained. The Supreme Court said they has historical meaning. It was only finally one person made a complaint. So that was going to pass muster. But in that same case, they said historical meaning has limits, though. And they cited the case in Kentucky where they had 10 commandments in each classroom in the school. And they said, no, you can't do that because it stands as an example of the fact that we have been particularly vigilant in monitoring compliance with the Establishment Clause in elementary and secondary schools and in the school systems. So it's a tough case. Now, you heard about the Lemon Test, which means for this to pass the Lemon Test, it must have a secular purpose, which, possibly all the moral values in there have that. Its principal or primary effect must be one that neither advances nor inhibits religion, and it must not foster an excessive government entanglement with religion, i.e. is Cranston School Department promoting religion. There's an endorsement test that goes with that, and cases that have followed that say it's the reasonable person. And what they mean by the reasonable person is somebody who has knowledge of the historical background and the facts of this case. When they walk into that auditorium, do they feel that Cranston Public Schools are endorsing religion? May not be the case, knowing that it's been there for 50 years, that really has the moral values. But the bottom line is it's not a black and white decision. Nobody's here telling the school committee you're definitely going to win or you're definitely going to lose. It's a very, very difficult case, and who knows with the makeup that somebody said of the new Supreme Court, maybe they'll change that, but there's no guarantees. And I can tell you one thing for certain, when I disagree with Mr. Young, if they lose the case, they will have to pay the ACLU's attorney's fees. So I mean, they have all these things that are weighing on their mind. So it's not an easy decision.